Sukhman Dhami. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. I hear you're here. Talk to us about nutrient cycles.
Nutrient cycles?
Yes.
What's a nutrient cycle? I'm not really sure what it is, but I will get my professor in to talk to you about it.
Oh, you must be the professor.
Yep. Dr. Aman Tithh, PhD in BC Science, 10th chapter 2.2.
Really? Sounds very interesting degree. Don't think I've ever heard of it before.
It's a really hard degree.
Alright.
Not that many people.
I see. Well, you're here in place of your assistant to be here for the interview on nutrient cycles. So, why are nutrient cycles important?
Nutrient cycles are really important because all these plants here and ducks, everything that's basically alive needs nutrient cycles to survive, even humans. So like if nutrient cycles weren't here, this wouldn't be here, you wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be here, and my sister wouldn't be here.
Well, he's actually not really here, but I see it though.
Also, there's three types of nutrient cycles: the carbon cycle, the nitrogen cycle, and the phosphorus cycle. They're all essential for life on Earth.
Well, sounds very interesting. I guess we should probably get somewhere dry to do the actual interview.
Yep.
Let's, Professor, well, now that we've made it to a nice, drier place, let's get the interview started.
Alright. Do you think it would be a better idea if we put some pictures up instead?
Yeah, I think
then
that's...
the audience will understand it better?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, alright.
How are nutrients cycled in the biosphere?
Well, Mr. Anthony, nutrients are chemicals required for plant and animal growth and other life processes. They are constantly recycled within the Earth's biosphere. Nutrients spend a different amount of time in stores within the atmosphere, oceans, and lands. Nutrients are stored for short periods of time in short-term stores, such as living organisms and the atmosphere. Nutrients can also be incorporated into the longer-term stores, such as Earth's crust. Nutrient cycles describe the flow of nutrients in and out of stores as a result of biotic and abiotic process.
So, what is the difference between biotic and abiotic?
Biotic is alive and abiotic is not.
So, what happens when humans come into these cycles?
Well, without human interference, nutrient cycles are almost perfectly balanced. There are three main cycles that move nutrients through terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems: the carbon cycle, the nitrogen cycle, and the phosphorus cycle.
You were just talking about the three different cycles, the carbon, the phosphorus, and the nitrogen. So, how does the carbon cycle work?
First of all, carbon is an essential component of cells and life-sustaining chemical reactions. Carbon is cycled through living and decaying organisms, the atmosphere, bodies of water, and soil and rock. Carbon moves between stores via 6 main processes: photosynthesis, cellular respiration, and there's decomposition, and of course carbonate. And also ocean processes, volcanic eruptions, and forest fires.
So, how do human activities affect the carbon cycle?
The human activities such as fossil fuel combustion and land clearance quickly introduce carbon into the atmosphere from longer-term stores. These actions increase the levels of carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas that contributes to global climate change.
So, how does the nitrogen cycle work?
Well, nitrogen is an important component of DNA and proteins. Most nitrogen is stored in the atmosphere, where it exists as nitrogen gas. It is also stored in bodies of water, living organisms, and decaying organic matter. Most organisms cannot use atmospheric nitrogen gas. The nitrogen cycle involves 4 processes, 3 of which make nitrogen available to plant and animals.
What are those 4 processes?
Nitrogen fixation, nitrification, uptake, and denitrification.
I'm assuming that humans affect this too, so how do they do that?
Fossil fuel combustion and burning organic matter release nitrogen into the atmosphere, where it forms acid rain. Chemical fertilizers also contain nitrogen, which escapes into the atmosphere or leaches into lakes and streams. High levels of nitrogen cause eutrophication, too many nutrients, and increased algal growth in aquatic ecosystems, depriving aquatic organisms of sunlight and oxygen.
How does the phosphorus cycle work?
Well, phosphorus carries energy to cells. It is found in phosphate rock and sediments on the ocean floor, weathering through chemical and physical means. breaks down the rock, releasing phosphate into the soil from longer-term stores. Organisms take up phosphorus when they die. Decomposers return phosphorus to the soil. Excess phosphorus settles on floors of lakes and oceans, eventually forming sedimentary rock. It remains trapped for millions of years until it is exposed through geologic uplift or mountain building.
I'm assuming the phosphate cycle gets, interrupted by human activities too.
The commercial fertilizers and phosphate-containing detergents enter waterways and contribute additional phosphate to the phosphorus cycle. Slash and burn forest clearance reduces phosphate levels as phosphate in trees enters soils as ash. It leaches out of the soil and settles on lake and ocean bottoms, unavailable to the organisms.
Well, that was a great interview. Do you know where your professor is?
I'm not really sure where he is, but oh shoot.